everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Is this going to be the week where all of us are expecting signings? It's been some slow first 14 days. 2 weeks have gone already since the start of the transfer window. No signings done. One player left, of course, Enzo Lefebvre to Sunderland. Delayed. It's always delayed. It's always too delayed. That's the problem. And I know that we struggle. I know that we don't have a limited amount of money, but I expected quicker ideas. I expected quicker deals. And I expect something this week, because if we don't get nothing done this week, then we will be 100% delayed also in this winter transfer window. There's been an official bid to sign Davy Rensch from Ajax, as reported by Fabrizio Romano. The first bid has been actually rejected by Ajax, who want a bit more, but Roma want to play on the fact that the player wants to leave and that the player wants to sign for us, to try and find an agreement for him with the club. Personal terms have already been agreed with him. Is this deal going to happen? Is this deal what we need? Is he who we need as our right back? Look, I'll be honest with you. I have never seen him play. I don't think a lot of people have seen him play, unless you follow the Dutch league. I don't think you've seen him play, and that is where the questions come in. I don't doubt him. You know, look, I've seen mixed reports regarding him, because I've seen some people go, he's a great fullback, he's young, he's got potential. A lot of people in the Dutch league like him and rate him. He's a classic fullback. He's not bad. He's got growth potential. And then I've seen other comments, including today, Marco van Basten, Dutch player, very famous player, released an interview, and he said how he basically commits a mistake in every game he plays. So you see what I mean? I think look, I don't think it's wrong to build an opinion on him. It can't be right to ultimately judge him based on what other people think about him, based on clips, based on stats. You can look at these things, you can consider these things, but at the end of the day, to actually bring a signing done and completed, you either know him or it's going to be a bad signing. You know, what is the logistics behind signing a player that we've never seen play? So I'm not in a position, and I don't think a lot of people are in a position, unless you know him, to go, he's good, he's bad, he's better than our right backs, he's worse than our current right backs. I don't think it's fair to do this, which is why I haven't got much to say regarding him as a player. I can build an opinion around the deal. Let's speak about this. First of all, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As always, 100 likes on the video would be great. If you're watching live or not, do hit the like button down below. It takes 2 seconds, it's free of cost, and it would support the channel a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's speak about this. So I can look at the signing. Basically, Roma have offered around 5 million, and Ajax have rejected this first bid. Ajax want around 10 million for him to let him go. And the first question here is, do we want to spend 10 million? What I would say is that we need a dominant right back. If there's one thing that we need in that position, is a dominant player. Because we've experimented far too much with right backs and left backs in the last couple of seasons. I think there are positions in this transfer window that you need to tackle, but you can also tackle not spending enormous amounts of money. I'm looking at a midfielder. You know, Fratesi for 45 million, I would never do it. And I think if you accept Fratesi for 45 million, considering that he's a bench player at Inter, you're insane. You're insane. 45 million for Fratesi, I would never do in a million years. And I don't even think he's a priority. So if I need to spend 45 million on Fratesi to then only have a 2 million budget as a right back, then you see what I mean? We're disorganized. And we're back where we were this summer, spending money on players in positions in a bad way and in positions that weren't a priority. So if you spend 45 million to sign Frattesi, which I don't think we will do, also based on what Ranieri said in the pre-game against, who did we play? Who the hell did we play? Bologna. He said 45 million for Frattesi is too much. It is too much. If you spend 45 million on a player, whether he's good or not, on a player who sat on the bench 80% of times at Inter, you're insane. And you're even more insane if you spend 45 million on Frattesi and don't buy a new right back. So you see what I mean? You have to be careful. You have to be careful because there are priorities in this January window that you need to get done. And one of these priorities is a right back. So as far as I'm aware, a right back that we need is a dominant right back. Is this guy dominant? I don't know. I've never seen him play. So I can't tell. But from the looks of it, from what people say, mixed opinions, he's good, he's bad, seeing the money that's involved in this, it suggests to me that this is not going to be a good signing. And that this is going to be yet another signing to try and save money. But ultimately, this idea of you saving money is not going to bring you anywhere. Because you either spend the money correctly or just don't spend it. You know, if I have to spend 8 million just for the sake of spending 8 million, then I'd rather keep Salamakers and Chilik for 6 more months and go big this summer. So if I need to spend money just to tell the fans, look, I've spent the money for a right back, you can't criticize me now, then just don't do it. Just don't do it. Now again, I'd like to say this again. I'm not saying that this signing is wrong, because I've never seen him play. I'll repeat this again. I don't know whether he's good or bad. I've never seen him play. But considering the fact that we need a dominant right back, considering what people say about him, and considering what Van Basten has said about him, and the fact that 10 million max, you know, with a 10 million max price tag, you're not going to get anything special. If that's the case, then I would say, just don't waste 12 million like this. 10 million like this. You need to know who to buy. If we're very determined in signing him, then okay, have a shot at it. But look what happened with Lefebvre. Oh, let's spend 20 million for the sake of spending 20 million and add money and add players. Yes, let's add players with no criteria behind, with no logic behind. That's the number one thing that I would say. The other thing which worries me here is our scouting. Scouting problems. If he's a young player, if he is is going to grow to be a potential signing, a potential talent, a potential gem and everything. Number one, why don't other clubs want him? Number two, I don't trust our scouts. I don't trust our scouts. I don't trust the people which work behind Gizofi. Because I think the signings that we carried out this summer, I look at Lefebvre. Lefebvre's the number one for me. There were good signings, there were bad signings. Okay, I agree. But the signing of Lefebvre for me is a massive red flag. The fact that we've spent 23 million like this is a red flag for me. I've got a lot of doubts on whether the scouting department at this football club is good or not. It's been quite shit for the past seasons. So I doubt that we've got the ability to get a gem which not many clubs want. You know, and people will go, well, that's kind of a hypocritical thing to say because you were very good at scouting Kone. And partly I agree, but the problem with Kone is that we were good to anticipate the competition. There were clubs interested in Kone. I don't see many clubs interested in him. I don't read reports from all around the world, but if he's actually considered a generational talent, why are we the only ones interested in him? When we signed Kone, Milan were very close in signing him. Juventus wanted him before they signed Kefren Turam. Arsenal wanted Kone this summer. So we were good with Kone, not to scout him, to anticipate the competition. These are all things to consider. One thing that I have read about Rensch, this guy, is the fact that a lot of people classify him as a classic fullback. Now, a classic fullback effectively is a fullback which likes to play with a four-man defense at the back. A classic fullback is the word classic fullback to me is somebody that defends and attacks pretty well, like balances the two sides correctly. A modern fullback is somebody who only attacks, like Di Marco. Di Marco's a modern fullback. A classic fullback is a fullback which can play both the systems, both the defensive system and the offensive system. This would also allow, potentially, Salamakers to go up and play in his position, which is the position that he prefers higher up the pitch. The other thing to consider here is, what defensive system do you want to play in this second half of the season? Because I think one of the things that must improve, is our ability to defend counterattacks. The amount of goals that we've conceded in these first 5 months due to counterattacks, due to our inability to be balanced on the pitch, is ridiculous. So Ranieri needs to understand, is it better to play with a 3-man at the back or a 4-man defense? Because both these, both the two systems, both these two defensive systems up to now have been ridiculous this season. They've been absolutely ridiculous. I prefer us with a 3 at the back because of Hummels. If Hummels starts, we must play with a 3 at the back, in my opinion. If Hummels isn't fit, 4 at the back is better. But the problem is that you have to solve this problem. You have to solve this problem of conceding counterattacks. I'm not joking. Every game, the majority of games that I remember in this first half of the season, we conceded a goal in the same exact way. Like it was a copy and paste goal. Against Fiorentina, I'm not even going to speak about it because I think we conceded around 3 counterattacks in that game, which ultimately led to 3 over their goals. Against Verona, we conceded 2 goals with that counterattack, one of them in the last minute. Against Bologna, counterattack goal. So it's happening too often. We struggle to defend these counterattacks. So you also need to take into consideration these things. Is he good defensively? Is he good defensively, or is he going to be another only offensive right back? And these are all things to consider, in my opinion, before attacking a signing, before making a signing done. What pisses me off? What pisses me off? No, it doesn't piss me off. It's normal. I expected this. Is that this winter transfer window for a lot of clubs is a big one. Like, I don't remember such a big January window for many clubs in Italy. Of course, with the money that Napoli have got from Kvara, apparently Di Marzio saying that they want Garnacho, and then you've got Juventus who are on the verge of signing Kolo Muani, and then you've got Milan who are linked with Rashford, and then you've got Roma linked with Rensch, and it's depressing. It is to see the difference, the abyss of differences between us and them, which is obviously it's the negative fruits of what you've done in these past seasons. All of the mistakes that you've accumulated is ultimately this is the end result. You get January windows, summer windows where your opponents are linked with Rashford, Garnacho, and Kolo Muani, and you're linked with Rensch and Bob. It's sad because it shows how low we are and how low we've fallen. but it must also give you some energy to at least want to do something big. And to try and to change your board, to change many things. It must inspire you to do this. By the way, I stand with my words. What I said a few days ago: Roma needs Giovanni Sartori from Bologna more than anything else right now. Apparently, he is going to extend his contract with Bologna, so he's not going to come. But it's just the ability to scout players in the modern game is so important. In that game, in the game against Bologna, I was not aware of the Kiko Dominguez guy. That guy is so good. That guy who started the counterattack, who was basically Bologna's biggest threat in the game against us. He's such a good player. Like the ability to scout these players, not buy them like we did with Sule and spend 30 million, but to scout them, to grow them, to invest little money and then resell them for a lot of money. It's these, Bologna keep on planting seeds, and all of these seeds that they plant ultimately turn up into massive trees. Last season, we all know the players that they did. This season, more players who at the start of the season were nobodies, and now they're starting to become big. They're starting to catch the eye of the world, and it's something. It's what we need. It's the number one thing that we need to think about. To move forward. You have to relook at the way your strategy and all. Walker will leave City. Get him. I disagree. I absolutely disagree. And I disagree. And we are a club that needs a dominant right back, like water in the desert. Even after having said this, I would not get Kyle Walker. He is 34, almost 35 years old. His wages are massive, and in the last solar year, he's been on an exponential downfall that the books can't even describe. Going for Kyle Walker just completely changes the idea and the trajectory of what this club wants to start building. I would not go for Walker. No, I wouldn't. Even if people go, he still has one more year left, probably 1-2 years. No, absolutely not. I would not want to go. Who do you think we should get as a right back? Well, the example that I give is not him. I'm giving you an example here. We need a Nuno Tavarez. As much as we hate Lazio, and have you seen the rumors about Lazio yesterday? The guy that basically holds the eagle in Lazio's ground. What do you call it? The Birdman. The Birdman in Lazio's games, which holds the eagle, got fired because he had surgery and he put an implant on his penis. And he posted a picture of it and he got fired the following day. I mean, and then Lazio fans actually ask themselves why we tease them and mock them. Like, how can you not mock them when these people represent their club? I can't believe it. It's hilarious. No, but going back to everything, Nuno Tavarez is a great player. We need somebody like him. Dominant, strength, speed. We need a Nuno Tavarez on the right. Ideally also on the left, because, I mean, if Angelino has a cold, who plays? So, ideally we need two dominant right back, a right back and a left back. We need dominant fullbacks. We need a Nuno Tavarez. And you need to kind of scout a player like Nuno Tavarez, like Lazio did. I don't massively rate the signings, but Nuno Tavarez for them was a very good signing. He's a very good player. Very good player. I like his dominance. That's what I like about him. It's his dominance. It's his strength. That's what we need. Like, can you imagine? Just imagine a right flank with Nuno Tavarez as a right back and Alexis Salamakers up front. Like, you don't need to... Again, I will say this again. I always say this when the transfer window opens. It's not about how much you spend. It's about what you spend the money in. Lazio bought Nuno Tavarez for around 10 million. It's nothing. Everybody thought he was a flop at Arsenal. He's a very good player. Like, after Di Marco, he's the best fullback in the league. As much as we hate them, we have to be honest. So, yes, this season is better than Teo Hernandez, by the way. If people think I forgot about Teo Hernandez, no, I haven't. Nuno Tavarez this season is better than Teo Hernandez. The fullback ranking in the Italian league this season is Di Marco's a span above everything. I put Nuno Tavarez second, and then I put Teo Hernandez. But, you know, these are the players you need on the two flanks. Right back and left back. Left back isn't a priority because you've got Angelino, who luckily isn't injury prone, because if Angelino had been injury prone, God knows who would have started there. But, you know, that's what you need. And I'm not going to repeat it, but you need a dominant right back. Dominance. Kimmich. Lads, we can't be speaking about these players. Like, it's okay to speak about them, but you can't link these players with us. We should sign Ivan Fresneda from Sporting. Hasn't he gone to Como? I believe he's gone to Como. Are we going to sell Dal to Ajax? Fabrizio did report how Ajax want Dal, and potentially the deal could be unlocked with a swap deal. If it does happen, I've got a lot to say on it. Up to now, I don't have the confirmation that it is going to happen. If it will happen, I will go live about it, of course, and speak about it, because it's going to be interesting to see a potential swap deal. The last thing that I want to say and speak about today is the Mati Sule mystery. Like, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. And he's not ready. I agree. He's not perfect. I agree. He's still very far away from the player that he can become. I agree. But to not start and to give Mati Sule not even 5 minutes in a game, and to even sub Zaleski, who is the last person in this team which deserves to start and get minutes, by how he's treating us. Zaleski is the last person who needs minutes. The fact that he's constantly rejecting clubs to leave as a free agent and exploit the free agency in June, in my opinion, is ridiculous. The fact that these players are starting ahead of Sule is strange, and it's a mystery. I agree that he's not perfect, but to not even give 5 minutes to a player that you've spent 30 million on is, like, every manager has their takes, of course, and I'm not going against what Ranieri believes, but he's gonna rot. Like, the simple truth is that he's gonna rot. He's just gonna rot. If you're not gonna give him minutes and keep him on the bench, he's going to rot. So, look, I'll be honest with you. If Ranieri doesn't rate him, and not doesn't rate him, but if Ranieri thinks he isn't ready right now, he must go on a loan. He needs to go on a loan. He needs to be loaned out. If you keep Mati Sule on the bench, he's going to rot. You spent 30 million on him. Do we want another signing, another 30 million to be drained down? I don't want that, thanks. So you either start including him in games. I believe in him. I want to see more of him, but he just simply hasn't gotten chances at all this season. And if the manager doesn't think he's ready, which is totally fine, he needs to be loaned out. Because look, if you loan him out to, let's say, a potential Empoli or a Genoa, even Como, he can have a good season like the one he had last season at Frosinone, and kind of get the confidence back. If we bought him to rot on the bench, it's not fair on him, and that's why I think he needs to be loaned out. So if Ranieri thinks he isn't ready right now, he needs to be loaned out. He must be loaned out because he's going to rot. He's going to rot. And that's it. Right, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and wasted money on Sule. Mate, I think it's just not fair to say that though. I think it's not fair to say that. I agree. Up to now, he's not been a good signing, but I am not even joking. We've seen about 20 minutes total in 6 months of football of Matti Sule. So to say that he's a waste of money, that he's a new Iturbe, is ultimately the reason why we will never have an Atalanta project, and why I keep on saying, don't wish for an Atalanta project at Roma. This is exactly why. Because a player that I don't even think, and I'm not exaggerating, has played a full 45 minutes, waste of money, not good, a new Iturbe, you're just going to burn him. You're just going to burn him. It's not fair on him. It's really not fair on him. Which is why I mean, if this is it, if he needs to be stuck here in Rome with fans attacking him being stuck on the bench and not even managing to get 2 minutes per game, he needs just, Matti, for the sake of your career, go on loan. Ask the club to be loaned. The club won't sell you because they spent a lot of money on you, but surely they will loan you out. And they must loan you out because you're going to rot. He's going to rot. I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye. Simon out.